Hey everybody, happy Halloween. Welcome to my ranking of every single movie in the Halloween franchise. And boy, what a franchise it is. Quick note, this is a subjective video. This is my own opinion, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure everybody will agree with this list, 100%. I'm sure of it. Alright, I'm gonna shut up now and start ranking, starting with number 13. Yeah, it's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I know this film has its fan base, lots of people consider this a misunderstood gem, a hidden masterpiece. People just didn't get that this was a brilliant movie about trauma.
I can't deal with this! I'm not strong enough and I'm tired of pretending that I am!
Yeah, you know what else people didn't get? It's fucking stupid. That whole white horse thing, yeah, that's all made up from Rob Zombie. He just invented this thing and put it in a quote at the beginning of the film to add some fake meaning behind it.
Here's a little piece of business at the beginning that sort of explains Michael's visions of the white horse. And I noticed many times when I was in a theater, most people didn't bother to read that, so they were immediately confused as soon as the movie started.
And this is really what this movie feels like. A pretentious asshole trying to be deep, but not knowing what he's actually trying to say. He doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about when addressing very sensitive subjects like depression, PTSD, trauma, suicide, fun stuff like that.
One fucking day at a time. You know what, if I hear that fucking phrase one more fucking time, she just fucking sits there in her fucking leather chair.
Laurie in this movie is just pure white trash, just screaming in your face the whole time.
Get the fuck out of my room!
Loomis is a cartoon villain.
Here, now take that and go sit in the car. Go on, get your ass in there.
And in the end, he becomes a good guy. This film is genius. Last but not least, we got Hobo Michael, who dreams about his mommy with a horse. Yeah, this movie's so smart. I am all for slow psychological movies and character studies. That's not what's wrong here. What's wrong is a very bad screenplay that's all over the place. This is what trauma looks like. Look how depressed she is. Look at it. There's no ounce of subtlety. It's just a frustrating experience. This is a director up his own ass making shit up as he goes along. I hate this movie, never want to watch it again. It's at number 13. Next up, number 12, it's Halloween 5. This is kind of similar to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. We have a director trying to do his art house movie and just failing miserably. If you want to have a good time, then watch the movie with the commentary track on. Pretty fun stuff. So basically, this guy didn't give a single fuck about the Halloween franchise. He wanted to do his own thing, and apparently his own thing was pure garbage.
Sensual massage.
Here's a movie that has no tension whatsoever, nothing happens the whole time, and everything we liked about Halloween 4 gets thrown out the window. Rachel? Oh, she dies. Jamie? She's mute now. Except by the end when she can talk again.
Tina!
Loomis? Oh, he psychologically abuses children now.
What do you think he's going to do with that? Huh?
Add to that the thorn symbol that was added without any real purpose, as well as the man in black. We got Tina, one of the most annoying characters in this franchise. Michael looks like shit, you see him cry, and you see him all alone brooding in a prison cell. The kind of stuff you want to see with Michael Myers. There's the barn scene with about 15 different jump scares back to back. Yeah, the only thing I enjoyed with this is the cookie woman. That's about it.
Cookie woman.
Cookie woman.
At number 11, we have Halloween Resurrection. And this is kind of the worst one out of all of them. I still dislike Halloween 5 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 much more, but they at least attempted to do something and just didn't quite succeed. Halloween Resurrection, nobody gave a shit about that. Jamie Lee Curtis just wanted out, she just wanted to die. The screenwriters, I guess, wanted to capitalize off of Blair Witch Project, and ultimately this is the prime example of a franchise not knowing where the fuck to go. I guess people are gonna go in the Myers house and they're gonna stream an internet live show. But here's the thing though, this is pretty fun to watch with a group of friends on Halloween night, a little bit drunk. Any scene with Busta Rhymes is pretty hilarious. We got the famous trick or treat motherfucker line.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
And then Michael Myers gets his dick electrocuted and yells, "Ooh." Yeah, this is one of the most embarrassing movies there is, and I love to laugh at it. At number 10, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween. So basically the first half of this is white trash the movie, and the second half is a remake of John Carpenter's classic, except done worse. I for one think the exploration of Michael's childhood was not the greatest idea from the get-go. I think the character should remain a mystery. That being said though, doing something different, I'm all for it. You want to explore his white trash childhood, okay, go ahead, but do something good with it. As it stands, this is a very cliche, by-the-numbers serial killer origin story. Kid has a shitty family, gets bullied at school, oh, and then he becomes a 7-foot-tall boogeyman. I guess that makes sense. I did like the scenes with Loomis and Kid Michael, those were kind of interesting. I also liked some of the cinematography when you can tell what the fuck is going on, which is not often. Everything that's new here is bad, and everything that's familiar is not as good as the original. So why even bother watch it? At number 9 we have Halloween Kills. Oh god. I don't want to talk about this, I just made a 30-minute video explaining why it's a fucking piece of garbage. But still, here's my quick thoughts. This is a movie written by a 4-year-old. It's messy, it's stupid, every single character is unlikable and idiotic. There's too many plot points, too many plot holes. Only reason why it's at number 9 is that, well, the technical aspects of this film are really good. Great cinematography, fantastic music, and Michael Myers is pretty cool in the movie. There's some pretty inventive kill sequences, those were kind of fun. And if you completely turn off your brain and just watch it for the stupid fucking movie it is, maybe you can enjoy it a little bit. But for me, this is one of the stupidest movies I have ever seen.
Evil dies tonight!
And I've seen Halloween Resurrection. Again, if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts on this, watch the other video I just made. But ultimately, this is baffling. How could anybody agree to release this? At number 8 is Halloween Ends. Yeah, I put it above Halloween Kills. Sue me. Again, I did a review on it a couple weeks ago. You can watch it if you want. But here's why I don't hate it as much as the other movies below this list. This one, at least, is simple. That's all I ever wanted from a Halloween movie. Simplicity. This is about Laurie, her daughter, and Corey. 3 people, that's it. This is about the legacy of evil, how evil has different shapes, it's not just one person. There's something kind of interesting in that. Only thing is, the execution is god-awful. Again, I'm having Rob Zombie's Halloween flashbacks, but Corey has a shitty family, he gets bullied, one day he snaps, he becomes evil. Hey, is there a way to do something different with a fucking serial killer origin story? Plus, there's some forced conflict in this story. Allison is mad at Laurie for no reason, and she doesn't trust her. And yes, the romance was not very convincing, nor was it interesting. But what really kills this movie is that at the end, they just throw everything out the window and they bring Michael back. Oh, we're doing something so different, so original, so unexpected, people won't believe it. Except for the last 15 minutes where none of it matters and Michael's back. Everything about Corey, how evil never truly dies, it just changes shape. The boogeyman will always live on, but through different people. No, none of that matters. You just wasted 2 hours of your life. You know, if you're gonna do something new and original, then stick with it. Don't just give in to the fanfiction at the end, because it's just gonna piss everybody off. Those who wanted Michael Myers versus Laurie were disappointed, and those who wanted something completely different and new were also disappointed. You done fucked up, Gordon Green. Yeah, that's why it's my number 8. Here's a little controversial one. Number 7 is Halloween 2018. So, a lot of people like this movie. A lot of people say it's hands down the best sequel of this franchise. But ever since day one, I will die on that hill. I think this is a bad movie. Does it have some entertaining scenes? Is it pretty well made technically? Is it a good time to watch with friends on Halloween? Yes to all of these, but it doesn't change the fact that the screenplay here is horrendous. I've said this so many times over the years. There's too many plot points, too many characters, people are stupid, there's bad humor, and there's plot holes. Fuck! Basically, it's like Halloween Kills, but just a little bit better. At least in this one, there's some attempts at character development. This is a movie about trauma evolving through generations. This is about Laurie, who not only fucked up her life, but also the life of her daughter and granddaughter, and there's some interesting things in that. But in the end, this is a movie that's all over the place. It doesn't have any tension, it's not scary, it's not effective. It's just very messy, it's very bad, and I don't think I'm gonna talk about it ever again. At number 6, oh boy, we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. You know what? I like this movie. Okay, fuck you. Objectively speaking, this is probably one of the worst Halloween films of this entire franchise, but in terms of pure enjoyment, Oh, bring it on, baby. This film is so stupid and so ridiculous that I can't stop being fascinated by it. I mean, in this one, there's a cult controlling Michael, and Michael apparently fucked his sister and they made a baby. Is that what happened? There's this ridiculous grandma with a knife. Oh, how can I forget Paul Rudd and his shitty computer containing exposition on the lore of Halloween? What the fuck is going on with this movie? I do not know. But what I do know is that it's got a damn good atmosphere. It's very spooky, very Halloween-y. There's some very fun kill sequences. Michael looks great. I don't know what to tell you. This was a good time, okay? Leave me alone. At number 5, we have Halloween H2O 20 Years Later. Or if you prefer the full title, Halloween 20 years later. Talk about simple and effective. You know, I really like this movie. It's a lot of what Halloween 2018 was trying to be. This is a character study of Laurie Strode, her trauma, the impact it has on her son, and at the end, the ultimate confrontation between her and Michael Myers. This was just done much better. This scene here at the restaurant is much more effective than anything Gordon Green tried to do. You get all the pain and the sorrow she feels just by that one scene. That said though, is it a great Halloween movie? Not really. It's really more a Laurie Strode movie, and I for one thought it was pretty entertaining and very well made, but granted, it can get a little boring. And Michael Myers in this movie, he's embarrassing. Whether it's the shitty mask or the very bad performance, if I could choose one Michael Myers to fight against, it would be this one. Pretty sure I can kick his ass. And yes, this is for me the definitive conclusion to the Halloween franchise. Laurie decapitates Michael, she fought against the boogeyman, she faced her fears, perfect ending. Just leave it there. Yeah, despite its flaws and its pacing issues, I think this is a very well done movie. Maybe not the most rewatchable thing, but definitely a very solid entry. At number 4, we have Halloween 2. You know, I don't think this is a great movie per se. It's kind of just a very bland by-the-numbers slasher film, but goddamn is it a good double feature with the original movie. Put these two movies back to back on Halloween night, best night of your life, hands down. Again, it's far from being as eerie and effective as the original movie, but as an 80s slasher film with fun kills and boobies, you know, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Once again, cinematography is great, the music is great, and the setting. Talk about a great setting for a horror film. A nearly deserted hospital with a serial killer creeping in the corridors. What the fuck more do you want? Now, the things I don't like with this movie, I don't really like what they did with Laurie. She doesn't really do anything in the movie. And the single worst thing for me that put a stain on this franchise is having Michael Myers be related to Laurie.
That Strode girl. That's Michael Myers' sister.
And I think Halloween 2 is an abomination and a horrible movie.
I just don't like that pure evil has a purpose now. It takes away the creepiness of his character. But that being said, perfectly fine, enjoyable slasher movie. I had a very good time. At number 3, we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I don't care what anybody says, I love this movie. I never once believed that the original Halloween ever needed a sequel. It's a perfect movie with a beginning, middle, end, and once it's over, it's over. But that being said, Halloween 4 did a pretty damn good job at continuing this story. They take the themes of the original and expand on it. This isn't just about good versus evil anymore, it's about how evil never really dies. Again, something that Gordon Green tried to do and failed. Ultimately, this is about Loomis versus Michael, but Loomis can never win. Even if he did kill Michael, he'd come back in another way. This of course leads us to one of the greatest endings in this franchise, when we learn that Jamie has turned to the dark side. Just fucking spine chilling. It's such a perfect way to have things come full circle. Sure, the film has flaws, it has some dull moments, Michael looks pretty bad. The rednecks are not my favorite part of this film, but everything that has to do with Jamie, Dr. Loomis, and the idea of Michael Myers, top notch. Chef's kiss. At number 2, it's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Listen, I'm done finding excuses. I'm done being embarrassed. I love this movie, and you can't change my mind, okay? Can you think of a weirder movie than Halloween 3? Like, this is the third installment in a very popular franchise. It's got a massive fan base, and what do they do with it? They make it about an evil Irishman who wants to murder children by putting pins behind masks that will open up a portal and put insects and snakes in their skulls to murder them. And he also built robots that puke baby food. And at the end, there's a Stonehenge and it shoots a blue laser beam at him and he turns into like a piece of rock or something, and then everything blows up. And at the end, it's not clear, but every single child on Earth could very well be dead. And people call this a bad movie?
Stop it!
This is no masterpiece, okay? It's a very stupid movie. It blends so many genres in one film. There's sci-fi, there's fantasy. At one point, it's a James Bond movie. It's a slasher film. It's one of the most insane experiences I had in my whole life, and I loved everything about it. I don't know what else to say. I love it. It's at number 2. Last but not least, at number 1, obviously, it's Halloween XXX porn parody. This is a movie that has it all. It's sexy, it's wild, it's emotional, it's everything you could possibly ask for in a movie. So that was my ranking. But I'm gonna throw in a little special mention to the original classic John Carpenter's Halloween. Okay, it's not as good as the porn parody, but it is pretty good nonetheless. Not only is this hands down the best movie in this franchise, but it's one of my personal favorite movies of all time. It's probably my number 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 1. At the risk of repeating myself, this is a simple, effective movie about evil. It's an hour and a half of a guy stalking people with creepy music and great atmospheric cinematography. For some people, it's boring, nothing happens, and you're kind of right. But for me, whenever it's on, my eyes are glued to the screen. I still think it's scary to this day. There's some very creepy imagery, so many iconic shots, my favorite soundtrack of all time, and of course, its impact on cinema is enormous. There's nothing to say that hasn't been said before about this movie. It's a classic for a reason, and it created one of the single best horror icons in the world. Thank you, William Shatner. And just like that, we have my very questionable ranking of every single Halloween movie in this franchise. Please don't take it too seriously. A lot of these movies could be interchangeable. And with that, we officially wrap up spooky season. I hope you have a fantastic Halloween night. Watch horror movies, drink pumpkin beer, eat candy corn. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Keep watching horror movies. It's good for your health. Trick or treat, motherfucker.